Hi, it's Mitz. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to film an update video sharing with you what I finally finished and what I'm currently working on. So in the previous video I talked about the boyfriend sweater by the Noble Thread. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and of course I will link it down below, but I finally finished it. I've been wearing it quite a bit in the house. I haven't blocked it yet. I haven't woven in my ends. I don't know, I just wanted to wear it right away. I'm scared to block it because I'm not sure how the yarn is going to react to it. I don't know if it's going to stretch out. Like, it's just the perfect, it fits me really nicely right now, so I'm afraid it's going to change or morph once I block it, and so that's why I haven't done it yet, but I've worn it in the house many days. I was actually filming a journaling video, like a journal with me video, and I was wearing this, and I don't know if maybe some of you might have noticed these ends showing in the video, but so I held one strand of fingering weight yarn from U&I. It's a nice, like, really soft rainbow color with pops of neon, and then I held it double with a lace weight. The bottom part here is from Mythica Fibers, and then I didn't have enough of that, so I purchased another different lace weight called Isager Trio #2, I think it was, but you can hardly tell. I don't know if you can tell the difference on camera, but and when I do wear it, you can slightly see the difference, but it's really not that noticeable. And very happy with the final sweater. This is my first time doing, like, I think this is like a boxy style, not like a raglan where you do the increases, and so it was a nice knit. My first time doing this, like, 3 needle bind off, which is a nice little effect here. I'm not really sure what happened here, so I really have to, I don't know, maybe it's stretched out somehow, so I need to fix that part. But all the edges are kind of rolled up, and that's the look. I didn't have enough of the yarn to make it a full sleeve, which is perfect because I wanted like a t-shirt length or just past my elbows, and it fits me so nicely, and that's why I'm afraid to block it, because I'm scared it's going to change the shape. But I know the yarn will most likely fill it out really nicely if I block it. But there's the first finished object, and I haven't finished anything else. I also wanted to do the reveal of the yarn subscription from Homespun House. I wanted to really work on the crochet granny stripe, and I've been stuck because I haven't I've started using some yarns, but I really wanted to go back into using the yarn from a Homespun House. So far it looks like this, and it's looking really nice. I'm looking forward to it once it gets nice and full for the winter, and you can just kind of cozy up on the couch with this throw. Oh, just to backtrack a bit, this is what's left from the sweater here. I purchased 3 skeins, but I only ended up using 2 skeins of the fingering weight yarn. And like I said, it's like a soft rainbow with pops of neon, which is so nice. I'm not sure what I want to do with this yarn that's left over. I might make like a small little shawl or a small little scarf and see how that goes. And I might also include it in the granny stripe throw. And these are the yarns that I'm kind of accumulating. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. I am using some of the yarn for the summer sock camp here that I talked about last episode or last video. And so these are the extra yarn that remained from the Homespun House. So I would do one stripe, and then I would leave the yarn and roll it up into a ball and kind of chuck it into the bag here. And so I've just kind of grabbed whatever and started making up these socks. I was getting tired of the bigger bands, so I made them thinner here. And this is my first time doing 2 at a time, but once I got to this part where I have to do like the heel and the turn, I decided to separate it. I really don't know, I think I alternated it by mistake, and I tried to fix it and I couldn't, and it just got even worse, and then I started getting frustrated with myself, so I just left it as is. But I'm still not sure if I'm comfortable with cuff down or toe up. I'm still very new to it, and I'm still but I enjoy knitting this sock, like the tube part, because it's just, you know, stocking it round and around. I don't know about knitting 2 at a time and how I feel about it at this moment, but it does feel nice to have both socks, like both tubes part done. I haven't really experienced the one sock syndrome where you just kind of knit one sock and then let it go. But yeah, so I don't really have any insight, or my feelings are still undecided in terms of how I feel about knitting 2 at a time. I feel like the flow kind of stops a little bit when I have them on the needles. I'll knit one section and then it just kind of stops when I have to turn it on magic loop, whereas if you have it on the 9-inch circulars, you just keep knitting and knitting and knitting and going, and just going around the tube. So in that aspect, it's, yeah, so I really don't have too much to say about knitting 2 at a time right now, but it does feel nice to see both of these parts done on the sock. The purple you see here is from the Advent from Fibresquisse. It's not just like a deep purple, it has little different tones of purple in there as well. I forgot to mention the knitting needles. These ones are the C-knit in the 2.25 millimeter. I prefer like the bamboo knitting needles, and the ones here that I'm using are the Hia. And it's too sharp for me, and I find that it's so slippery. Maybe it'll be different in the summertime when it's a little bit more like when it's a little bit more hot, but I do prefer the natural feeling of like the bamboo. But I do prefer the natural feeling of the bamboo. So those are the socks, and while we are talking about a homespun house, let's open up the yarn from the subscription. It's a monthly subscription from a homespun house. I can see some bright colors there, so I'm excited to check it out. Oh, wow, that's very bright. It's so pretty. So it's quite dark right now. It's just raining outside, so it's quite dark out and cloudy, but hopefully you can see the bright pops of color. Oh, that's pretty too. So I'm very excited to add these colors to the granny stripe throw. Let me compare it to, let's see the names. It's the Patreon April sock set. It's called, the yarns are called Dancing in the Street, Unicorn Dust, and French Kiss. Let's compare it to the, she had a couple of other pink ones from previous months. I can see that they're very different. It's definitely more peach here. It's so nice to see all the colors together like this, see how different they are. And of course it looks different once they're kind of in the skein and when you roll them out. So I'm excited to, this pop of blue and green is very pretty. I'm not a huge orange person, but this is kind of like these colors remind me of sherbet for the summertime. So yes, I'm very excited to finally start the granny throw again, granny stripe throw. And two more things I have been working on. I don't know if I mentioned this or if I started this last time, but I decided to knit on smaller items because of the weather here in Tokyo. And this is the Muscle Burrow Hat. And the yarn is by Irodori Yarn, and it's so soft. This is my first time trying out this brand here in Japan, Irodori. I asked for the winding service because I'm, yeah, I don't have like I have the thing that winds it, but I don't have the Swift. So it is a bit time consuming for me to wind up the ball. And so I did do the service, and she ended up adding a little tab here so that it's easy to find the end, which is a really nice touch. But the yarn is beautiful. This is my first time trying this out. Just by the looks of it, I feel like it is quite big, and I'm a bit scared that it's going to be too loose. But I just, I'm thinking of maybe changing out the needles here and replacing it with like a bigger one and actually trying it on and see how that works. Also probably if I blocked it, it might affect it a little bit. And if it's really bad, I've considered popping it into the dryer. I don't know if that's going to work or if that's going to shrink it way too much. I don't want to waste this yarn though. It's very, very pretty. Yeah, let me know how that works. Let me know in the comments if you've done that before, if a project turned out too big. Did you end up popping it into the dryer for a little bit? I think that would be very hard to control. But anyways, I've been really enjoying this yarn. The little specks of darker gray here and there is really, really nice. I think I might even just frog everything if it turns out way too big. I don't know if I want to put it in the dryer. I feel like there's no control over how much it's going to shrink. And so there's that. I don't know, maybe that's about 50%, I feel. I haven't weighed it yet, but I feel like maybe it's about 50%. And is it supposed to be this big? I don't know. This is my first time doing it. If it's 50%, then it's going to be another, it's going to be quite long. So I'm a bit afraid how that's going to turn out. And lastly, I've been really enjoying this Stephen West shawl. It's turning out to be quite big. I'm on, I don't know if I'm on the last section. I'm assuming I'm on the last section, or one of the last sections. I think the last time I talked about this section here where I doubled it with a really pretty mohair. And then I don't remember if I was on this section or not, but I'm using these, both of these yarns are also by U&I. And yeah, so now I'm holding these double. In the pattern it talks about marling, but I might just end up doing it all the same consistent color throughout. I haven't really decided yet. It's hard to see that there, but it's like a seed stitch. And I was thinking of marling it with some of the yarn that's remaining from a Homespun House. I think that would be fun as well. But at the same time, I kind of like this cohesive color going on here, so Oh, if I can show you a close-up of the, so there's a close-up of that, those two yarns together. So it's very soft and pretty, and yeah, so that's going really nicely so far. It's turning out to be a nice long shawl, full of mistakes and a lot of firsts, which is a nice memory to have. But those are the projects I'm really into right now. Yeah, I see a lot of summery colors and a lot of bright colors that make the knitting a lot of fun. I don't know how I'm going to be, if I'm going to actually knit a lot during the hot summer days, but so far it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to be working on like the smaller projects like the muscle burrow hat and then the socks, and the granny stripe throw is at a manageable size, so I feel like it's not like a really big project. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you're working on some summer projects or what you're working on right now, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.